Well, good day and welcome back to Max Nave Horsemanship. And today, well, I'm going to make you a deal. Last time I'm going to talk about this stuff, well, at least for a while, but I want to talk just a tiny bit more about leasing and boarding. Since, well, we're kind of on that theme, and I've been getting some positive feedback from the last few videos I've done, so I thought I'd go on just a tiny bit more, because actually I realized after I did the last one that there's a couple items that I didn't mention, and I think they'd be good. And then somebody made a comment that suggested a couple other things. And there's something else I wanted to talk about, totally unrelated, but we're going to talk about it anyhow. And so I think I actually have enough to make a whole video on this time, but still might be fairly short. We'll see. Anyhow, before we get into leasing boarding, I want to talk a little bit about YouTube. I know you're sick and tired of hearing me talk about YouTube, but well, I could do the usual groveling and begging, say subscribe and like and comment and all that stuff, but it's a little bit more detailed than that. Is if you are watching this video but have not gotten a notification, this part is for you. Very important. If you're watching this video but you didn't get a notification of a new video, here's what you got to do. Now, there's a couple of things that might be going on. I can't say for sure, but one thing I know that does happen is since YouTube changed things a couple of years ago, simply subscribing to a channel doesn't get you notifications. After you hit the subscribe button, you got to go right next to that. There's a little bell icon, and when you click on that, three little options will drop down from there. And for some reason that makes no sense to me, by default, you get one of the three that doesn't do you any good. I don't know why the other two options are even there. I don't even remember what they are now. But the number one option, the one you want, is the one at the very top that says all. Click on that one. And that way you'll always get notified of any new videos. And I know this is a problem because I've had it happen to myself. And I had a viewer once comment, geez, I thought you'd stop doing videos. I didn't get any more notifications. And when they went back, visited my channel, discovered all these new videos. Well, turned out they hadn't been getting notifications for exactly what I'm talking about. If you don't click on the notifications and click on all, you're not going to get notifications. The other two are, I can't remember what they are, and it doesn't matter. They don't work. Forget about them. And I don't know why, by default, if you subscribe, you automatically go to one of those two useless ones that don't do you any good. So anyhow, if you're watching this video and you haven't been notified about it, or haven't been getting notified of a lot of my new videos, which lately I've been doing quite a few of, more than I actually originally planned on doing, make sure that when you click on notifications, click on all, and you'll get notified. Okay? So enough about YouTube. That's it for that. I'm going to go back to the leasing and boarding thing. I wanted to caution, one more caution about leasing is, and this has got to do with different styles of horsemanship, because not everybody does everything the same, and there may be expectations on you as to how they expect you to cue the horse and treat the horse and all this stuff, and you may or may not agree with it. And so these are things you got to sort out ahead of time. You got to find out ahead of time. Sometimes it's helpful just to be able to make your experience, work. If you want to get the horse to move, do you squeeze it or do you kick it? You need to know these things. And horses are all a little different, and they're trained differently, and that sort of thing. And I'm not going to go into what I think is right and wrong, because that's irrelevant. This is what you got to deal with. And some people are very, very adamant that you must do it their way when you're working with their horse, which I kind of get that, because I wouldn't want people doing things differently with my horses than I've taught them to do. That would be a little confusing to horse. Another thing that you got to be cautious about is when it comes to teaching the horse things, because the horse may or may not be really well educated, and you may decide one or two little things you'd like to see done differently. You're going to teach the horse, and the owner of the horse might say, no, don't be teaching my horse nothing new. Okay, so you got to get all those things sorted out ahead of time and decide, can you live with this stuff? Is it okay with you? So just more on more on that list of 100 questions you can be asking. Now, Here's the next part of this video, and you can all join in on this and help me out. You can all get to take part in this one because I'm kind of going to do a bit of a survey of sorts. Have you ever leased a horse? And what kind of experience did you have? What were the terms and conditions of your agreement? And was it a good thing for you? I really want to hear this stuff because, I mean, I know a little bit about it. I've heard of people doing it. I sort of kind of did it. I mean, right now I would never lease out one of my own horses, but maybe you have. So that, you can comment too. If you've leased out one of your horses, did it work? Did they treat your horse well? Was the arrangement satisfactory to both of you? If you've leased a horse and you weren't the owner of the horse, how did that work out for you? Let me know these things. I want, in the comments down below, tell me your whole story. As much as the comments will let you, I don't even know if there's a limit on them, how big you can make them, but go ahead and tell me as much as you can about how the experience was for you, how it worked, what the terms and conditions were, things like that. Is it a good thing? I think it is, but I've heard of it happening quite a bit in a lot of places, and I've even seen ads for horses for lease or wanting to lease and things like that. So I know it happens, but I don't know many people actually that have personally been involved in it. So your contribution to this topic is very important. And you could be somebody that, maybe you've been around horses, owned horses, and ridden horses for 20, 30 years. I don't know. You could be like real old school, but maybe years ago you did do something like this and you got your story to share with us. So that's important. That's one part. Then the second part of that is boarding. Again, all of you, absolutely any one of you that has ever boarded a horse or have friends that have boarded horses or anything, tell me about what facilities they provide. Approximately, you don't have to go into details if you don't want to, but how much a month did they charge you? And of course that depends on what country you're in, what currency that's going to be, and I'm sure even from one area to another within a country, prices are going to vary a lot, and I know that prices vary a lot depending on how close you are to a major center. That can have a huge effect on the prices, but tell me about the boarding facilities. I've heard both good and bad stories. I've heard some horror stories around here. It's been pretty good. This is a pretty low-key place. You don't get too much attitude or egos or any of that kind of stuff around here. But I've heard horror stories from other places. So, tell me what your experience has been like. And would you recommend it to somebody else as an option for keeping your horse, boarding? And like I say, how much did it cost you? What country you're in would be helpful, or what part of what country too. The terms and conditions of your board, because I've heard a lot of variations in that too, and I'm not sure how much of that is just I heard or how much actually happens. I've heard some places you actually have to provide your own feed too and go out there daily to feed your horse. Other places they supply the hay. All I got to do is pay the bill. Around here, all the feed and water, that's all supplied. I don't have to do none of that stuff. I just got to pay the bill. So there's all those different options, and I'd like to know, what have you been involved in? What kind of an experience have you had? So each and every one of you can contribute and help out with this video. Make a comment down below and let me know what you think of the various situations you've seen or been involved in and how they worked, and would you recommend it to somebody else? Because I don't have all the answers. A lot of you are going to have experiences I don't have. So each and every one of you has got something that you can contribute to this subject. And that'll be the last we hear of it, I think. Depends on what somebody says. Have a good day.